Taurus, while you're focused on your priorities, taking care of your life, building your stability, something is happening behind the scenes of your reality. There's someone in your life who is drifting away, not with drama, not with confrontations, not with declarations or goodbyes. They are simply evaporating, like water evaporating in the sun without you realizing the glass is getting empty. And when you finally notice, if you notice, they will already be completely gone. And you know what's most surprising? You'll be okay with it. This person isn't a random person. They occupy or occupied a significant space in your life, someone you considered important, someone in whom you invested time, energy, and loyalty, but something changed. Not explosively or obviously. It changed in the invisible frequencies where relationships truly live and die. You two are on paths that have diverged, and while you continue firmly in your direction, this person is silently taking another route. And the universe is orchestrating this separation so naturally that it won't hurt as much as you imagined it would. Can you feel it? When you think about that person now, it doesn't have that same intensity as before. It doesn't have that same urgency for contact. It doesn't have that same need for their presence. Little by little, without you consciously deciding, they've lost importance in your inner life. And they feel it. They realize they're no longer a priority for you in the way they used to be. And this is causing them to naturally distance themselves, seeking spaces where they feel more valued, more needed, more central. There's an invisible dance happening between the two of you. You back away a little. She backs away a little more. You take a while to respond. She takes even longer. You cancel a date, she doesn't suggest another. It's as if you're both participating in a farewell choreography that neither of you consciously rehearsed, but that you both perform with perfect synchronicity. And the most interesting thing is that neither of you is doing it with the intention of hurting. It's simply the mutual recognition, even if unspoken, that the cycle has come to an end. Let me tell you what's really happening with this silent departure. It's not an accident. It's an adjustment. You're evolving into a version of yourself that simply no longer has the space or energy for certain relational dynamics. You're becoming more selective about where you invest your limited time. You're developing higher standards about who deserves your unwavering loyalty. And that person, however important they may have been at some point, no longer meets the requirements of your current life. And at some deep level, you already know this. That's why you're not making an effort to keep the connection alive. Can you see how you stopped initiating conversations with this person? How you stopped including them in your future plans? Taurus, what I'm about to reveal will give you complete clarity about this invisible separation process that's happening. You'll understand why it's this way, without explosions, without public resentment, without dramatic endings. And most importantly, you'll understand why, when you finally realize she's gone, your first feeling will be one of relief, not loss. The Taurus nature has an interesting peculiarity. You get attached, not superficially, but deeply. When you decide someone is important, you commit to that person almost unwaveringly. You are loyal even when you shouldn't be. You maintain relationships long after they've stopped nourishing you because you don't give up on people easily. And that's beautiful. But it's also a prison when you don't know when to let go. You're afraid to let go because you fear it means you failed, that you weren't strong enough to make it work, that you gave up when you should have fought harder. But here's the truth you need to absorb. Letting go isn't failure. It's discernment. It's recognizing when continuing to invest energy in a connection becomes self-sabotage. It's understanding that loyalty to someone cannot come at the cost of loyalty to yourself. And you're learning this lesson now, in this smooth separation process that's happening without you having to make a conscious and painful decision. And that's exactly why the universe is subtly removing this person from your life. Because if it depended on you to consciously end it, you probably wouldn't. You would continue investing energy in a connection that's already dead just because it's always been that way, or because you have history, but your soul knows better. Your deepest essence recognizes when something no longer serves you, and it's orchestrating this departure without consulting your conscious attachment. This person is leaving because you've grown in incompatible directions. It's that simple. Not because someone is a villain, or because there was a monumental betrayal, just because your lives no longer make sense, intertwined. Values have changed. Priorities have become different. What you offered each other before is no longer what you need now. And while this may seem sad at first glance, it's actually liberating. It's the universe curating your life and removing what no longer serves your highest good. There is also a profound wisdom in this kind of gradual separation. If the person left abruptly, you would be trapped in endless analysis. What did I do wrong? Could it have been different? Why did this happen? But when the parting is slow and mutual, these questions don't arise with the same intensity, because there isn't a specific moment of rupture to analyze. There isn't a clear culprit. There is only the natural recognition that you are going your separate ways, and that's okay. For Taurus individuals born between April 20th and April 30th, the person leaving represents someone who has become energetically burdensome for you. Someone whose constant demands were draining your peace. This person's departure will restore a balance you didn't even realize you had lost. For those born between May the 1st and May 10th, the person leaving represents an old pattern you've overcome, perhaps someone who kept you trapped in dynamics that no longer honor who you've become. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, this departure is connected to you, finally prioritizing your authenticity over social conformity. You're letting go of someone who demanded you be an edited version of yourself. But regardless of your birth period, the pattern is universal. You are being released from a connection that, although familiar, no longer serves you. And the beauty lies in the fact that you won't even fight against this departure. Your Taurian instinct to hold on tight is, for the first time, naturally relaxing, and that is a sign of profound emotional maturity. Let me show you the signs that this separation has already begun and you haven't consciously registered it yet. Your conversations have become less frequent. When they do happen, they're more superficial, more formal. You no longer share your vulnerabilities with this person. You no longer seek their advice. You no longer feel that need for approval. The plans you made together have slowly been replaced by individual plans. You no longer feel obligated to attend everything they invite you to. And when you are physically together, there's an emotional distance that didn't exist before. You may also notice that you've stopped defending this person in conversations with others. Before, if someone criticized this person, you would immediately defend them. Now you just listen, perhaps agree internally, but no longer feel that burning need to protect them. This is significant. It's a sign that the deep emotional bond has already dissolved. What remains is only the habit of closeness, and even that habit is naturally fading away. All of these are signs that the energetic separation has already happened. What is happening now is merely the physical manifestation of this internal separation. The person will leave your life concretely because you have already separated at the deepest levels of connection. It's like a fruit that has overripe and now simply falls from the tree. It doesn't require force. It doesn't require a dramatic decision. It's just the natural conclusion of a process that was already complete. And here's what's most liberating about this type of exit. It won't leave trauma. It won't leave open wounds that need healing. It won't generate years of therapy processing what happened, because it's not a violent exit, it's an organic exit. It's like autumn. The leaves fall, not because the tree rejects them, but because the natural time has come to let go so that new ones can grow in the next season. Taurus, you're probably wondering when exactly you'll realize this person is gone. The answer is, there's no set moment. It could be weeks from now when you realize you haven't spoken in a while. It could be months from now when you're telling someone about your life and notice that this person is no longer part of your stories. It could be a year from now when you find something that belonged to them and feel a quiet indifference instead of longing. There's no obvious finish line in this kind of separation, and do you know what will happen when you realize it? You'll be surprised by your own reaction. You expected it to hurt more, that you would feel emptiness, loss, regret, but you will mostly feel peace. A strange peace, like someone who has let go of a weight they didn't even know they were carrying. You will realize that your life flows better without that presence, that you have more energy, that you are more aligned with who you truly are, and you will thank the universe for having done this curation work that you wouldn't have the courage to do alone. The truth is, you're already living without that person even before they officially left. You've already restructured your inner life so that they're no longer the central focus. You've already redistributed the energy you invested in them to other areas and people. You've already adjusted. What's missing is just external confirmation of what has already happened internally. And when that confirmation comes, it will be gentle. It might even be anticlimactic, and that's okay. This person is also feeling this change. They realize they no longer have the same access to you, that you no longer truly open up to them, that there's a part of you that's closed off to them now, and initially they may have even tried to reclaim the space they once had, but you didn't respond with the same intensity as before, and they understood the message. So they're doing what anyone does when they realize they're no longer welcome in a space. They're withdrawing silently, with dignity, without causing a scene, and that's respectful on both sides. You're not brutally kicking anyone out. She's not playing the victim or creating drama. You're simply acknowledging that the cycle has ended and each of you is going your own way. It's mature, it's healthy, and that's exactly how most breakups should be. No villains, no victims, just recognition of incompatibility. Taurus, you also need to understand that this departure is creating space, physical, emotional, energetic space. And this space won't remain empty. It will be filled with people who resonate with who you are now, with connections that nurture instead of drain, with relationships that celebrate you instead of tolerating you. The universe never removes something from your life without preparing something better to occupy that space. And here's the test of maturity. You won't try to fill that space immediately with just anything simply because the emptiness bothers you. You, with your developed Taurian wisdom, will allow the space to exist for as long as necessary. You will trust that what is meant to come will come at the right time. You will use this time to deepen your relationship with yourself, to strengthen your inner foundation, to become even more solid in who you are. This person's departure will also teach you something crucial about healthy detachment. You've always been afraid to let go because you associated letting go with losing. But this time, you'll experience that letting go can mean gaining lightness, gaining clarity, gaining alignment. And this lesson will transform how you relate to all other areas of your life. You'll learn that you can honor what was without dragging what is, that you can be grateful for the past without sacrificing the present. And when that person is truly gone, when you realize there's no more contact, that they've completely gone their own way, you'll do something surprising. You'll wish them well, genuinely, without bitterness, without resentment, because you'll understand that they aren't bad for leaving. You aren't inadequate for not holding on. It's simply time for each of you to go your own way, and there's beauty in that raw honesty. You'll also notice something interesting about your life after this departure. Certain things start to flow better. Opportunities that were blocked become unlocked. New people appear. You feel lighter when you wake up. There's more clarity in your decisions. And you'll retroactively understand that that presence, even if not overtly toxic, was creating an energetic density that prevented certain flows in your life. Its departure removes an invisible barrier you didn't even know existed. There is something profoundly liberating in realizing that you can love someone and still acknowledge that this person no longer belongs in your life. That you can have beautiful memories of shared moments and still be at peace with the fact that there will be no more. that the end of a connection doesn't erase the value of what was experienced. This emotional maturity you are developing is rare. Many people go through life without achieving it. You are getting there now. Taurus, in the coming days and weeks, observe carefully, but without attachment. Notice how interactions with this person, if any still exist, are becoming rarer and more superficial. Notice how you no longer feel the need to share everything in your life with them. Notice how your future plans no longer automatically include this person. These are signs that the separation is reaching its final stages. And when the moment arrives, that moment when you realize she's no longer an active part of your life, allow yourself to feel the liberation from it. Allow yourself to acknowledge that it's okay, that you don't need to feel guilty for letting go, that you don't need to justify to anyone why that person is no longer present. Some departures simply happen, and that's okay. This experience will also prepare you for future evaluations of your relationships. You will develop a sharper ability to perceive when something has reached its natural end before it deteriorates into toxicity. You will learn to honor cycles instead of forcing eternity into everything. You will understand that not every connection is meant to last forever, and that this does not diminish the value of what was shared while it lasted. The person who is leaving your life without you realizing it is actually giving you a gift, the gift of a clean exit. Without prolonged wear and tear, without fights that leave scars, without harsh words that can't be switched off, they are simply walking away with the same tranquility with which they arrived, and you are allowing it with a grace you didn't know you possessed. That is evolution, that is real growth, and when everything is complete, when the departure is total and definitive, you will look back and see the wisdom of the universe at work. You will see how this person played their part in your story, but wasn't destined to be in every chapter. You will understand that some people are teachers, not lifelong companions, and you will be grateful for having learned the lessons without having to go through a traumatic emotional divorce. Taurus, this person will leave your life and you won't even realize it at the exact moment it happens. But when you do realize it, you'll be grateful for the smooth departure. Grateful for the lack of drama, grateful for the space that opened up, grateful for having matured enough to be able to let go without suffering. This is not a loss, it's a liberation, and you are more than ready for it. If this message immediately made you think of someone specific, if you know exactly who I'm talking about, simply share in the comments, "I've let go." These two words affirm that you are aware of the separation happening and that you are at peace with it. You don't need to name the person or explain the circumstances. Just state that you've let go and let the process complete itself naturally. Subscribe to the channel because in upcoming content, I'll be discussing how to consciously fill the void left by someone leaving your life, how to use this transition period to strengthen your foundations, how to recognize when new people entering your life are truly a good fit for your current self. Turn on notifications so you don't miss these essential tips. This is your moment for healthy detachment, Taurus. The moment where you learn that you can be loyal without being a hostage, that you can value connections without becoming unhealthily attached, that you can honor the past without dragging dead weight into the future. The person is leaving, you'll hardly notice, and when you do, you'll be relieved. Let it happen. Trust the process. And celebrate your newfound ability to let go gracefully.